we were walking in the streets in Seoul, and some guy, he was like way up in his apartment. He pointed down, and he was like, "Wild Turtle, Bjergsen, TSM," and he was like, "Hey." That was really fun.
It's actually really crazy if you think about it. Like, I'm traveling the world in foreign countries, just playing video games, and it's amazing having fans out here to support you too.
Welcome back to the League of Legends World Championship as we are here in the quarterfinal between Samsung White and TSM. But first, I am joined here by TSM's owner, Reginald, to give us a little more insight. First up, Reggie, what's your verdict on the first game from your team? Samsung White ran away with it.
Well, I mean, we always lose purple game, you know, so the next games are going to be, I think, a lot better for us because the first game we came in, we're a bit nervous and we messed up a little bit on our strategy, but I think next game that we come in, we're going to be doing a lot better. So hope for the best.
Talk me through mindset going into these series. When we talked to Bjergsen, he was like, well, it's pretty bad if we got to play White. They're so good. Is it an all or nothing approach for you, or, well?
Yeah, so I mean, at Worlds, it's all or nothing when it goes to quarters, you know, because you lose one match, you're out. So overall, the way I feel about it is we're just going to go in, give it our best, and at the end of the day, you know, we worked really hard up to this event, like all day. We eat, we sleep, and we just play. So at the end of the day, we're going to be happy with what results we got and just go into next year and work even harder and try to get a higher place. Ultimately, I think that there's a chance of us beating White. It's not ridiculously high because in scrims, you know, we're able to beat every single team. We even won some games off White, but like at the end of the day, White was like by far the best team in scrims and even in competition, so it's going to be ridiculously hard.
Yeah, they are a fantastic team. So what for you counts as a success in these series?
I think that, you know, if you don't win, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're 3-2. It doesn't matter if you're 3-1. If you don't win, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we're not expected to win, but our ultimate goal is always to win Worlds. Even though it's, you know, it's not probable, it's still our goal. So if we lose, it's a loss, and then we just have to look forward to next year.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. Good luck in the rest of your matchups. And now we're going to toss it over to the desk to prepare us for our next game.
Thank you very much, Shucks. I think strong words. If you don't win, it's not a success. I quite like that response. Yeah. Samsung White took the first blood in a commanding 27-minute win. They smashed that game in the series, of course. Freak, I want you to comment on Bjergsen's Z play. Reddit has been talking a lot about how TSM could win. Yeah. They just need to get somebody on Samsung White to tilt. How is Bjergsen going to make that happen? Talk to me about his play.
Well, wow. I just like how everyone just like cracks up dying over that one.
Just yeah, easy.
Yeah, it's not. For what it's worth, as far as a series representation here, certainly Samsung White played well against Bjergsen Z. Actually, someone was always around Imp at all times, so there was no good assassination potential for Bjergsen. And we're seeing this here where it's not exactly going to be easy for Bjergsen to solo carry, because Samsung White are clearly playing very well as a team and not letting those opportunities happen.
You just have to ask, what is TSM going to do this next game? They were obviously not as good as Samsung White in the 2v1, but if they 2v2 against Imp, last game they had a great matchup. It was Lucian versus Twitch. That's like a 70-30 matchup for Lucian. If this game Imp plays a strong 2-on-2 and 2v2s Wild Turtle and Lustboy, it'll be even uglier. So what options does CSM have to get through this early game?
Fast closing thoughts, Crapo?
White was just, every time White was one step ahead. So TSM needs to do something unorthodox or just play out of the normal book, because White is in TSM's head right now, and as long as they stay there, they're going to win the series.
And completely agree. We do have to go to Costas. I'm very sorry. We'll come back. Guys, the teams are heading into Champion Select, so let's head it over to the Costa desk. Sorry, Monty.
Thank you very much, Quick Shot, and we definitely have some crazy things going on here. A lot of people saw what they thought was going to happen, but there still is a chance for TSM to grab this. Reggie said blue side is where we are going to shine. Let's see if the players can put their money where those words are.
I mean, everything's one step ahead this whole day, right? You're thinking, all right, this is going to be a slow loss for TSM. They're good at holding out. Nope, it ends at 26 minutes. And then, you know, White, they're all in the lobby really fast. Let's get into this next game. They want this over real quick. They're not even giving the analyst test time.
Let's just remember, though, TSM in best out of 5 have a habit of losing the first game and then still coming back and doing better and better the longer we get into the series.
So coming into this picks and bans, gentlemen, if you could grab TSM's playbook right now, what would you want to put in it? What kind of would you say?
There's not very many ways TSM wins this series, and there's even fewer ways to try and take down Samsung White, just because White didn't have to show vulnerabilities in the group stage. But if I look at the way that White puts their team together. Dandy makes plays because his solo lanes play defensively, keep the lanes in the right spot, assist with wards, and go in. The only lane that plays aggressive for Samsung White is their bottom lane, and they ward the crap out of it to try and avoid ganks.
Right.
So if I'm TSM right here, you pick a defensive top laner like Ryze for Dyrus to try and just outscale Looper. You actually pick a defensive bottom lane because White is going to be super aggressive and they're hard to gank anyway.
Okay.
You pick someone in the mid lane like Syndra who can go incredibly aggressive, and you attack Dandy in the jungle. If somehow TSM can take out Dandy, I think they have a chance.
And that would require getting something like a Lee Sin as your first pick. It is going to be open unless Samsung White bans it here. Question is, do you take the Ryze, the scaling top laner you were just talking about, or do you get Lee Sin, the best early game jungler?
Well, they
you
definitely don't get Lee Sin
So
now.
now you can get your Ryze at least.
Right, and that's one of the problems here.
Or not.
White has a chance to block that strategy. However, as far as scaling top laners go, they actually bypass Ryze and go for Maokai, who is still a late game scaling champion, can create fights.
He is a late game scaling champion, but he's a champion who's very strong because he's so good at assisting his team and being a tank in the team fights. You need damage dealers behind you, which means the rest of your team cannot fall behind. Otherwise, Maokai in the late game is just going to be tanking some damage, but he's never ever going to kill anyone himself, and the team is still going to lose the fights. Ryze would have been able to do more on his own.
And that's where Dyrus kind of shines, being backup for the team, giving them the assistance. You can do that with the Maokai ultimate, shut down fighting like Samsung White likes to do. But Dandy getting his 3-0 Kazakhs out of the group stage in his hands. And amazing onto Jarvan, which was not that spectacular.
It has not been super impressive in the past, but that is definitely his third jungler that he's going to be picking up. And all right, there's one more thing that TSM might have to do if they want to try and take out a win. Something that White did last game is they picked very versatile champions that work in many different situations. Much like the Thresh and Elise can play at any point in the battlefield. If TSM picks a more... With the Fizz, that's crazy. If TSM, I'll finish this real quick, picks a one-dimensional team composition that does one thing very well, like go in with Jarvan and Maokai, and they put the entire team towards that, they might have enough strength to overtake the versatility of White at a certain point in the game.
This becomes tough. Every ultimate Bjergsen really wants to put out here with either Syndra or Zed can be canceled out by Pawn with his Fizz pick. So he's saying, please pick your mains right now. Very tough choice.
Yeah, and this Fizz pick here, it's actually an old school pick for Pawn in the mid lane.
Right.
Before he joined Samsung White or Samsung Blue, he was actually known as a Fizz god in Korea. So it's an old school pick. We saw it once in group stage where he was dominating as well. And Zed being locked in for Bjergsen, this matchup one-on-one, Zed will have the advantage of the game.
My God.
Zed can win early game, but he will get outskilled, and there's a Singe from Looper. We're going back 1 year back here, Season 3 Worlds.
Did we just hit a time warp?
Yeah, we definitely hit a time warp right there.
Wow.
Looper with teleport pressure on Singe. That is something that Maokai does not have a chance of doing enough damage to try and get him out of lane.
And obviously, when he joined the team, Season 3 Worlds was his very first tournament for Samsung White.
His very first game.
His very first game. He played Singed, Ghost, Teleport, when people didn't play Teleport top lane, and he destroyed people.
I think this might be Looper being a little vocal here. We know him as the quiet guy, but he's saying, gentlemen, I want to bring the Singe back out.
I wonder if it's also a style pick. I know Looper didn't join the scene until Season 3, but Dyrus was a Singe player in Season 1.
Was it bind laugh and just run around spamming it? All the time.
All the time, indeed. So another amazing set of picks. I said we probably wouldn't be too flabbergasted by these ones, but once again, knocked onto our butts. We're already sitting on them, though. The players are loading onto the Rift, so keep sharing your predictions by tweeting at LOL Esports. Use the hashtag TSM win or SSW win. We're about to rock out Game 2 here. A best of 5. Korean teams practice regularly.